Welcome back to the Outdoor Talk Podcast. What's up, Tanner? We are back with another episode, number 8?
Number 8.
Number 8.
Number 8.
We're getting up there, almost
Yes,
in double digits.
I know.
Hope you all like these podcasts. We're trying to put one out once a week.
Just trying to help you all out.
Yeah.
Give you a little, hunting fuel on your way to work, I guess.
Hunting fuel. When you're out there this time of year, you're excited, you're pumped up, ready for the season. So I know I am.
Hey,
I
too.
got the itch. Man, I've been working my bow every day. I've been putting out more corn than I probably should be putting out.
Posting YouTube videos.
I've been trying to post some YouTube videos of all this preparation for deer season. Drop one a day.
Tell us what you did with that skid steer. I saw it.
Okay.
I saw it over there in the background of that picture you posted.
Now, you can reference this on the YouTube video. Actually, you know what? That part on the skid steer wasn't in the video, just at the very end. But the day after we went out there. Okay, anyways.
Let's hear it. I like it.
So we bought my family, we own a piece of property out there. There's my dad, his sister, and his brother, like a big family. Well, they just purchased another little piece of property that butted up to the original property, and there's a little shed on there, okay? Like a little shed. Well, back up a little bit. Me and Keaton been wanting to get one of those little portable buildings.
Yeah.
To turn into like our own little cabin. Because the cabin we have, it's a metal building. It's got like 4 or 5 bedrooms, and our family's just growing.
Wait, it's like what, 2,000 plus square feet though?
Whatever. It's about 60 by 80, whatever that comes out
60
to.
by 80.
Shop.
Man, okay, so
or a metal building, and then it's got 2 stories, so it's like more square footage because it's 2-story, you know.
Right.
But
it's a nice place though.
Yeah, but
I
our
enjoy
family's
being
just
out there.
growing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a great place. I like it.
You want your own man cave is what you want.
That's what we want. We want our own place where we don't have to. We can go and like instead of building a big old shop, you can get those little portable buildings pretty cheap. So we've been looking at these little suckers, and we're talking about either getting our own individual and have our pretty much just a little bedroom outside.
Right,
Instead of buying a camper, you can buy a camper, but we want it to look like a little mini cabin.
Yeah,
like a mini tiny house.
You wanted to look and feel like camp.
Yes.
Other than being in a camper.
Exactly. It's like going to camp in like a little house, whatever. Well, we've been looking at these little suckers, and they've got this piece of property, and we're cruising around, and we find one in the woods. Like the guy before it had a little camp set up. He had an old, like early 2000s, 1990s camper, fifth wheel, and it's like trash. Aww. And it's disgusting. There's there's some, you might be able to pull the heater out and stuff, might be able to salvage a few things, but the rats done took over.
You could take that thing to the metal shop in Reno.
And get what? The camper's not made out of metal. It's styrofoam.
Oh, no.
Yeah. The frame, I guess the trailer might be good.
Oh, okay.
But it's trash. Like, I don't want to touch it.
Yeah.
I'd like burn it. But right beside this camper, there's like a little shed like we've been looking for. Probably about 12 by 22, 24.
Just a decent size.
Yeah. And we decided to pull it out of the woods. And it's going to be perfect. We're going to be able to put 2 beds in it. Make pretty much 2 bedroom, 1 little bath. Like small. Like you could fit like a little full-size bed, maybe a queen. I don't know. But it's big enough. We can have a little small camper. Little small cabin. And y'all follow along on the YouTube channel. On my YouTube channel, y'all follow along, and we'll have like a whole series of us building this thing.
Dude, awesome.
So it's going to be pretty cool. Like a little tiny house. I don't know.
Now, keep in mind, Nelson sent me a Snapchat of this, of them pulling, the process of them pulling out the
shed.
The
skid
shed.
steer.
Right, out of the woods.
Yeah, it was tucked back in there pretty good.
And when they pulled it out, I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I thought he was playing a joke. Like they went and picked up an older shed, got it for a good deal. No, they found this joker in the woods on the property. Now, how long have y'all owned the property though?
About a month. That piece of property. Now the other piece right beside it the original piece. Okay, so take that. We started out with 1 piece, and then we bought another little piece, and then we bought another piece a few years later.
So 3 total.
3 total little pieces but they're all pretty much touching, and which makes it great.
Oh yeah.
So in total, about 500 acres, something like that, through the family now. And that little shed was on there, and that shed, it's probably, I bet you it's 10 years old. Dude. I don't know, but it's in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
Had a good roof on it. Now the siding, some spots are kind of iffy. You might have to replace it, but it ain't nothing.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Little fixer-upper.
Hey,
and it's camp, too.
It's camp. It's going to feel like camp. Well, I think they brought it in there like a long time ago before they dug this lake because there's no way to get it out. So we're going to have to make our own trail to get the sucker out.
Word.
And it's going to be fun.
That's awesome, dude.
But thank goodness Keith's got a skid steer. We can pick that sucker up or drag it.
Man, there's something about the skid steer. Getting in it, you're in a little mini tank. You can pick up heavy stuff.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I On occasion, I get to use the skid steer at work if we're doing grade work or if we're picking up extra rock or whatever it is.
Yeah, they're super handy equipment.
Oh, awesome piece of equipment. We have the S75.
Yeah,
the Kubota.
Mm-hmm. Keaton's got an S95 or is it S? It's a 95 horse.
Oh,
or 100 horse.
That's a little bigger.
A little bit. I think it's the biggest one Kubota makes.
Yeah, we have the step down from that, and then they have a 60, I think, as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I want one so bad. Like I could do so much work with it.
They're pretty pricey.
They are
$70,000 for a new 75, man.
Oh, I think the 90s are like almost 100.
Oh,
85,000. I don't know what they are now in this market, but they are. I mean, if you have a pretty good sized piece of property,
yeah,
they're very handy. Like you can shred with it, you can mulch with it, you can get the grappling hook, forks.
My boss literally just got a shredder for it.
Dude, they're awesome.
He shredded a little path straight to his pond so his boys could walk out there and fish. Yeah. It's pretty neat.
And they're pretty popular right now. Brush clearing is getting really big. Yeah. So people are buying these suckers and just starting a little brush company.
Yeah.
Or brush clearing company. And that's what Keaton's doing. That's what he's using his for.
That's awesome, dude.
And he's clearing brush and grading rock and shredding trails or whatever.
I'm pretty sure at Turkey Camp, this was kind of, I guess, in the making, in the process of it. Not to go too in depth about it, but I'm curious.
Yeah, Keaton's. Well, they had the skid steer before that, and they were clearing lots from their own family.
Okay.
Like they bought some land that they're going to clear lots on and then sell.
Yeah.
Well, Keaton started his own little deal, and he got an excavator, and he's just renting out the skid steer from his dad.
The big excavator?
Yeah, he's got I don't know what size it is. It's not a huge one, but it's big enough he can haul it. He has to haul it on a semi. It's big enough to haul with a semi, but it's not that
So it's
big.
not the mini excavator, though?
No, it's not the mini.
Okay. Those things are fun, too.
Yeah. It's a cat. I don't know what size it is, but if he gets on the podcast and we ask him, he'll tell you.
That'd be cool.
He's on it every day.
Hey, you know what? Let's get him in here.
We'll
talk. Yeah, we'll do a little rapid episode about his business, kind of what he's doing. And
One of our listeners actually said Keaton. He really liked listening to Keaton's voice on the podcast because he said he had a good radio voice.
Oh wow!
Hey, you got a good radio voice.
No, come on.
Everybody's like, man, y'all got a pretty good little voice. It's like I can't stand my voice.
Come on now, come on. Hey, we're your hosts, Tanner. No,
yeah. Welcome to the Outdoor Talk Podcast.
Oh man!
But yeah, this is the Outdoor Talk Podcast.
Yes, sir.
So we're talking about everything outdoors, from skid steers to
chasing big bucks and
ducks and
yes, sir.
Gobble for me. Oh man, dude, I've been putting out a bunch of corn lately and trying to get some more inventory with my trail cams just to see what we got this year.
So
see if the bucks made it from last year.
Right.
See if they're showing up yet. But
I've seen some pictures, man.
I have,
Ooh.
dude. I've got one buck that I guarantee you I've had him on camera for at least 4 or 5 years, and he's like a weird rack. He's a 5-point,
but
he's got some mass this year.
Dude, he looked good.
He's kind of freaky looking.
See, I think that's one of the best things about deer hunting. You literally start building relationships with deer, and it's incredible because if you don't hunt, you're not going to get to experience that. And when I was managing that little piece of property out on the west side of town, over by the school, it's a little 40-acre piece of property.
Yep,
man, I had it for 3 seasons, checking cameras, when I could during the season. Actually, I wasn't doing any preparation for it, and man, it's so cool. Sweetness.
It is cool.
That encounter with him, man. Was something else.
Especially when you get some time underneath the property and you start seeing the same deer grow, and then you can manage the deer how you want them. Like you can watch this buck grow from a 1-year-old, 2-year-old buck to however old you want to keep him on the property, as long as the neighbors don't shoot him. But I'm willing to take that risk of passing deer and having the chance that the neighbor might shoot him, but I like to take that risk, and maybe he'll be a bigger buck in a couple of years.
That's the part of maturing, though, as you hunt. Yeah. Now, you slowly progress. If you started young, man, I was trigger happy on does.
Oh, yeah. There's nothing wrong with it. I promise you that. It's just the stage I'm in right now.
Everyone is on different levels, so, hey, don't feel obligated to pass on a buck, per se. But, you steadily grow and progress and kind of tend to hold back more. And let these deer really grow and mature to become something, more of a trophy.
Well, I think it makes you a better hunter of like watching the deer grow and passing on deer. Like, you might have had a really good opportunity to take that buck, but I think it makes you a better hunter just in the long run, growing, like watching these deer, passing them. Hey, you might get a chance at a bigger buck or a smaller buck later in the season, and it's fine to take that deer. But just I don't know.
And if you have, buddies that hunt or that aren't as experienced as you, and
You can bring them out there and let them take the deer.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with that at all. Just manage your herd. I mean, however you want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Your deer on your it's your deer technically. Well, it's the state's deer. I don't know how that works. How does that work? I think it's
deer.
The public owns
it's
the deer.
It's the Lord's deer. No.
Yeah, I don't understand. I think this. I want to say like the public owns the deer, so like you can manage your herd,
right?
Like the way you want to do it, as long as you're within the regulations.
Exactly.
But like your deer travel to your neighbor's property if you have a small piece of land. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's whatever. But I'm willing to take that risk.
The deer's on your property. It's
your deer.
It's your deer.
Yeah,
you can do what you want with it.
In your scope, it's your deer. And if you shoot him, he's on your wall.
There it is. There it is. Hey, if he's big enough, All right. So, I don't know if I actually told the old podcast listeners out there about the story of Sweetness, and this is a rabbit hole episode. So I'm gonna feel free to go ahead and explain it a little bit. As being a hunter and maturing, there's something about, and I'm sure everyone has one specific story that they'll never forget, something that didn't go right or as planned, and you ended up wounding a deer.
Yep. That's part of being a hunter.
Exactly, and it's
going to happen.
It's part of that maturing stage.
Mm-hmm.
I watched this deer for 3 seasons. I nicknamed him Sweetness. He was a 7-point.
Yeah.
And to me, he was a trophy.
Yeah.
Well, Toxic Broadheads, they had just came out with their new Toxic Broadhead. Get like yours today.
The meatworm looking.
Oh, yeah, dude.
It's what it's supposed to do, like
jerky sticks, man, as soon as you shoot it.
I know. I've seen those. We got on the trend and bought some, and I never shot anything with them. I shot targets, and they chewed that target up.
Oh, yeah, they'll eat it. They'll eat it up.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't actually read the package, and what the package recommended was 60 pounds plus.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. And at the time, I was a little younger. I was shooting 50 pounds.
Yeah.
And, 29-inch draw length, 50 pounds. It's pretty simple, but I was younger, and I think the state of Texas, it's 40 pounds minimum.
I don't think there is a law in Texas on...
Now?
Now. I don't think there is any limit in Texas on poundage. It's just...
I think there was back in the day.
There might have been.
There was.
Or it might be recommended.
Maybe they lifted it.
Yeah.
But yeah, still 50 pounds. I was like, okay, yeah, and I was shooting. It was easy to pull back sitting down, and that's one of the things that I actually struggled with. Being a bow hunter, I always wanted to do it. My uncle did it. All his buddies did it. We went to bow hunting camp, deer camp, but everyone bow hunted. So I just wanted to keep that up, and it's hard. It's difficult. But man, I'd been watching this deer for 3 years. And he finally came in, afternoon set, in the hardwoods, came right to the corn. Dude, my heart was pounding. And instead of going out, let's say it would be the south side as soon as they're done, which allows me the opportunity to draw back at that point.
Yeah.
He walked towards me. Man, he had stopped 5 yards underneath my stand, and I drew back, and I flinched terribly. And I heard it hit, and that deer kicked and ran off.
Dang.
And I was like, I think I just killed the biggest buck of my life. Man, I followed that blood trail for 2 days. I actually had Mr. Gentry. He came out and helped me.
Yeah.
He was trying to give me some advice. Dude, he was on his hands and knees. And right then and there, I learned how important it was to prepare for your hunt.
Yeah.
Instead of getting in the stand, shooting a target once or twice or whatever, getting in your stand and trying to attempt to shoot a deer, you need to clear your head first off and foremost, and make sure you prepare and shoot that target.
Yep.
Prior to getting out there and hunting.
So beneficial to practice. But once you're up in that tree, and if you're a newer hunter, I understand because I've been there. I mean, sometimes I still get I don't get buck fever that bad anymore.
Yeah.
Like when a hog, dude, I'm hogs shake me up like crazy. I don't know why, but it's like I love it. But deer, I'm just like, it's a deer, but after the fact, I'm like jumping off the wall, like hell.
Oh, yeah.
But anyways, what you're saying, practicing before you go.
Right.
But once you get up in that tree and that deer comes in, the buck fever sets in on you. It's like everything you just practiced on is out the window.
Yep.
It's super hard.
It's you and the deer.
Yeah. It's just something.
And your heart racing.
And your heart racing. It's something that you just gotta have experience, and you just gotta learn from your mistake. Learn from your mistakes.
Exactly.
And just keep hunting. Don't let it get you down. everybody's going to wound deer, and I promise you, no matter how good of a hunter you are, you're going to have times. I hate to say it, but you're going to have times when stuff like that's going to happen. Something you're going to make a bad shot, or you might make a great shot, and then the deer flinch,
ducks,
whatever. And then it turns into a bad shot. You're going to lose some deer.
Man, okay, so that's really not the worst part.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you know the story, but the listeners out there, they're probably going to give me crap for it. But, I don't mind sharing it.
Yeah, share it. We're real on this podcast.
So 2 days later, devastated. And I actually took a step back from bow hunting. I started pursuing ducks at the time.
Yeah.
Just because of how devastated I was seeing the game camera trail, or the trail cam pics of the deer. He came back 2 days later feeding at the corn with the arrow stuck in his neck. And it was mind-boggling.
Mm-hmm. Deer are tough, man. They are super tough. And I bet that was, but...
My heart just sank when I saw the photo.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of embarrassed to share the story, honestly, just because it's one of those wild things that you never thought would happen. I thought the deer would, be 50, 70 yards down in the ground, down in the dirt, taking my photo with him.
Mm-hmm.
First big buck kill with my bow. Super pumped. But to see it on the game camera, dude, my heart just sank.
Oh,
and I just didn't even want to go sit in the stand anymore.
Yeah.
I waited about 2 weeks, went back out. A bigger buck ended up showing up. So I started hunting heavy again for it.
Yeah.
I told a guy at the church the story, and he said, "You'll never guess what just came through." He owns the cleaners here in town.
Mm-hmm.
A guy who actually does his dry cleaning at that cleaners said he just shot a deer with an arrow in it. He called Callahan.
Yeah.
It was mind-boggling. That deer had gangrene and was limping up to this guy's corn. He called Callahan and shot that deer.
Yeah.
That deer ended up dying. Now, he suffered probably 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Well, whitetailed deer they're a crazy tough animal. It is unreal. I saw a video on Facebook on Instagram this past season.
Yeah.
The deer, you could see almost the guts and everything in this deer. It was so bad, but the deer was just trucking along.
Yeah.
It was just moving like nothing was happening to him.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. Those animals are tough. But in that situation, I understand how it just made your heart just sink. But thank goodness somebody took the deer,
right,
put it out of his misery. And
Callahan actually, the game warden here, actually ended up bringing me the set of horns.
Really?
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
So I ended up mounting it, and I'll always have that story to reference. Now, I didn't get the full school mount. He just cut the horns off right at the base.
Yeah.
But I ended up throwing him in a European mount and getting it done. Those pre-builds that you can get out, Walmart, any really local outdoor store. And I'll never forget that story. But every deer that I've came across since that day, I've put an ethical shot on.
Yeah.
And I really, and that's not only for preparation or from preparation, but that's because of that moment right there.
Yeah.
So
you lived and you learned. Now you're focusing more on the shot.
Right.
And I guarantee you, every time you see it, you have a shot at a deer now, you're probably thinking about that.
Oh, yeah. Is the deer broadside? Do I have a good shot?
Yeah.
Is it ethical to take this shot right now? And like we talked about, as you steadily progress and mature in the woods, you know when is right and when it's a little iffy.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, sometimes big buck wise, man, you've got one, maybe two opportunities a season to get that deer.
Yeah.
So sometimes the variables change a little bit, and you're like, hey, I've got to take this shot.
Yep.
Or I might not get a shot.
Mm-hmm. That's where the arrows that I'm building comes into play.
Exactly. Let's hear it.
So I'm sure everybody's heard the hype and everything about high FOC, heavy arrows, adult broadheads, quote unquote, from the Ashby Foundation stuff and Ranch Fairy and the hunting public. I'm sure everybody's seen this stuff. Well, I've been playing around with it a little bit, and this past season, we have a bunch of hogs around here, and I had the perfect opportunity to take several hogs, and I was shooting a 593 grain arrow, pretty heavy compared to what I was shooting. I was just shooting a normal, like 430, 450 grain arrows, just a gold tip, standard arrows, 100 grain broadhead. Well, after I started watching these videos and learning a little bit, I started putting more higher FOC, front of center.
Okay.
I started putting like 100 grain inserts and 125 grain broadheads on a lighter grains per inch shaft, so it's putting more weight up front, which still the overall total is heavier. And a cut-on contact broadhead that I was I was taking the time to sharpen myself.
Go ahead and cut on contact. Explain that for some of the
So it's just a
listeners
fixed blade broadhead. Cut on contact. Instead of mechanical, it's got to cut and then open up.
Right.
So a cut on contact, as soon as it hits, it's cutting.
It's
always
penetrating.
And then if you sharpen them yourself, and like take the time to strop them, and they're like hair shaving, you have a better of a chance of whatever. As soon as it hits the body, if it hits a deer, a hog, there's dirt, there's hair, it's getting dull instantly. So you want something super, super sharp. But I was saying, I had the opportunity to take some hogs with this higher FOC arrow, and I was blowing through these animals. Blowing straight through, sticking in the dirt. And I wasn't shooting that heavy an arrow, like 595, whatever I said, 593. And blowing through them. I shot a hog. A whole bunch of them came out the feeder. Shot a 265 pound or 200, it's 200, maybe 225, 226. It's something like that. It's upwards of 200.
Yes, sir.
Big old hog. Blew straight through that sucker, heart shot, and stuck another one in the head and penetrated the skull.
Hey, that's a YouTube video.
I got it on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
I did. And that right there just kind of proved my point. And proved it showed that this higher FOC, heavier arrows is a thing. And what you're planning for is like that plan B. So like it's not the perfect broadside, or the deer might be quartering away just a little bit and you just smoke a rib, smoke that shoulder. When you plan for it, you might break through that stuff and have a better opportunity.
There it is.
Of going through it. So in that situation with your 50-pound bow, with your 100-grain toxic broadheads.
Yeah, dude, it was.
Let's just say you threw on
so cringy.
You had your So let's just say you had your 50-pound bow and you threw on like a 125-grain broadhead, cut on contact, that you sharpened. That was really sharp.
Yeah.
Guarantee you would have had more penetration and had a better opportunity at killing that deer.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
So,
and since that day too, because I was a big rage firm believer, like, hey, rage broadheads are the only way to go. It's a mechanical broadhead, and just like Nelson's saying, as soon as it hits, you're losing so much. Energy, velocity.
Yeah, because that broadhead has to open up.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with those broadheads. They work great, and they make a big old wound channel, and they bleed out, and that's kind of like the selling point for them.
Yeah.
They bleed out real fast. And
if you hit the soft spot, rib cage to rib cage, but if you hit any shoulders or bone, sometimes it just stays in it.
They stay in them. Yeah, they don't get the penetration because they're opening up.
Losing so much velocity when that happens.
And the material those broadheads are made of is a lot thinner than like a higher quality steel broadhead, like fixed blade broadhead. Right. Those mechanicals are real thin. Yeah, they're surgically sharp or whatever. They might be razor sharp, but that blades are so thin. Every mechanical I've shot, they broke, every one of them. So, and I know they make replaceable blades and all that good stuff.
Oh yeah.
But those hogs that I shot with that fixed blade that I sharpened myself, shot those two hogs with the same arrow, and then like a couple weeks later, I shot another hog with the same arrow.
Hog slaying machine this season,
dude. I think I ended up shooting 4 or 5 hogs with the same arrow. I just kept sharpening it.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's an arrow, man.
Not necessarily recommended for all you listeners out there, but hey, take the time
to think about.
Take the time to sharpen up your broadheads.
Yeah,
doesn't matter how many kills. See how many kills you can get with it.
Plan for the unexpected.
There it is.
Because I promise you, that deer could be just quartering away just a little bit, or quartering two. You really don't know what's underneath that skin, and you hope it's heart and lungs and maybe a little liver, but you never know. Just the way that deer's facing, angling. The shoulder could be back, the front leg could be back a little bit, and you just smoke that bone. But if you plan for it, maybe a little heavier arrow, you might be able to break through that bone just to get enough penetration just to penetrate the vitals. Yeah.
Dude, when that front leg goes forward a little bit, dude, that's prime time, prime
when it goes
opportunity.
Forward, it just kind of covers or takes away the cover from the vitals.
Oh yeah.
When it's back, that's when you got to be worried because it covers everything.
Hey, but see, Nelson has, and we talked about it in our previous podcast, the last episode that is, and Nelson has gotten a protein feeder and gravity feeder.
Yep.
Well, the great thing about gravity feeders, from where your stand's positioned, you can position that feeder
where they have to eat out of it.
Exactly.
A broadside shot.
And so how I have mine set up to my stand right now, and you can essentially, the great thing about them, 50 pounds of corn, it goes a long ways unless you have coons, squirrels, all the little creatures, right?
Yep.
You can essentially put up 2 gravity feeders, 2 different trees, 20 yards left, 20 yards right.
Yep.
Right? And then you can position those deer so when they feed, You've got a quarter and away shot, whatever you want, broadside shot. And sometimes, when 3 or 4 come in, they all try to feed at it, so it's a little different. But if it's just one deer, it's game over if he's eating at the corn.
Well, baiting is a super, super, super good management tool to see the deer, like get the perfect shot, especially for newer hunters. But it's a great management tool, so you can watch the deer and take the ones that you want to take. I love it. I've been shooting over corn and feeders. Well, it's Texas, like everybody does it. You know, it's kind of like the normal. It's how you hunt around here.
Right.
I do love setting up on a trail, and I might not see as many deer, and I might not have the perfect opportunity, but it's like it's just a different experience, and it's a lot more fun that way. Well, I don't know. It's fun either way. I like it both.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But hogs, man, put some corn out, and they're coming in, and you're gonna shoot them.
Speaking of hogs, though,
Moving target.
I actually watched a video today. It was about a 4-minute video that was sent in our little GM on Instagram. And how much crops hogs destroy per year.
Oh, it's crazy.
Rice fields to corn fields to whatever. Rice fields hold water, so they literally stay in those fields all day. And, man, it's millions of dollars of ag fields that they destroy per year.
Oh, it's crazy what they do.
These jokers had 2 helicopters, silenced ARs, bro. They would get up and wax some hogs. They don't
put a dent in the population.
And this guy was like, yeah, and then you'll have the non-hunters out there that see a video of them going out and shooting hogs and how bad it is. No, they're really helping out all of the wildlife out there.
It might look bad on video of people doing that, but it's a super, super, how do you put this? Like, you got to manage these hogs because they populate so fast and they tear up so much. It's like the most efficient way to do it. Right. Honestly.
Traps work to an extent.
They work to they get hogs are smart and they know what a trap is. So once you start trapping the herd, and if you don't get like now they got the big old round traps that drop,
those
and
are
like
sweet.
You try to catch the whole sounder or whatever it's called in one go. Yeah. But that one that's outside, he just educated. So now he's never gonna go to the trap. You can chase him down with dogs, but them suckers will outlude dogs. They'll run across creeks.
And they populate so quick and so fast.
Yeah,
I don't know how long it is from start to finish of when the hog is capable of having the babies.
It's not very old.
I don't think it's like 3 months.
Something like it's not fast, it's not long at all. And I think they have like 3 litters a year or something like that. I don't remember what the statistics are, but it's crazy. But we get a lot of them. They're fun to shoot. They taste pretty good too. Everybody's like, "Oh, you don't want to eat them wild hogs." I promise you, if you fry up some wild hog or backstrap right beside a store-bought, you can't tell the difference. Besides, it might be a little more lean just because it's a wild animal and not fattened up.
That's one thing about duck camp that I actually like. Whatever you're eating that night, if you ask, I don't know. But they might tell you after you're done eating. I ate Boudin for one of the first times out in West Texas.
I had some last night.
And Boudin is one of those things, you put it on a cracker, however you want to eat it. Eat it with the skin, without it, whatever.
Cracker. Put it on a cracker.
Put it on a cracker. Sound like I'm Louisiana.
You ever seen that on TikTok? Stale cracker guy?
No.
Put that on a cracker, dude.
Man, but hey, I had it, and I asked one of the guys at camp. I said, "Man, what did we just eat? That was good." He said, "Boudin." I said, "Oh, sweet."
He told me
later on, I ended up figuring out what was actually in it, and it was a little disturbing. But hey, man, it's good, and until you try it, I mean,
I actually made my own Boudin. Like it's a pretty long process because you gotta cook it down like in a big old stock pot and then dump the juice out. But you gotta save some of the juice, and then you gotta add the rice and whatever. I made fried Boudin balls, so I was adding like cornmeal and stuff to it, and then you have to cook it down, put it in the refrigerator for the next day, and then make your balls and then roll them in panko and whatever and then fry them. Super good, or you can shove it in a casing. I mean, it's really good. But I'm talking about there's chicken liver and pork, and it's good.
A lot of stuff mixed up. It's kind of like a hot dog. As a kid, you grow up, man, I want a hot dog. I would
say it's better than a hot dog.
Oh, no, for sure.
Because I know what's going in that sucker.
No, right. But just what's in bologna or what's in hot dog. People don't understand.
But they're good.
As a kid.
And the best ones are the cheap ones, the Bar S. Ooh, the best ones.
Dude, I ate so many bologna sandwiches growing up when I was younger.
I love fried bologna.
I haven't touched bologna since, honestly.
Yeah. I only eat fried bologna when we go down to deer camp at my girlfriend's my fiance's family now. We're getting married here in a couple months.
Yes, sir. Big
Opening day of rifle season, boys.
I was like, once I found out when Nelson was actually getting married, I was like, man, that's how you know how your true friends are right there. Because all of us deer hunt, all of us duck hunt.
Yep.
For the most part.
And I had to ask all y'all to be in my wedding if y'all can't go hunting. So you can go hunt that morning. We can go hunt that morning.
Honestly, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Everybody shoot a big deer before and have like big pictures and all our tuxes.
Dude, that would be sick. That would be so sick. Have awesome YouTube video before the day of the wedding.
Sweet.
At least be mad at us walking in with blood on our shirts or something. My word.
Smell like deer.
Well, preparation wise,
yeah.
You've been trying to tune up your bow.
Yeah, I've been shooting. Okay, that's what I was
Ran
going to tell
into
you.
some couple of complications.
I ran into some complications. A little tongue twister here, but okay. I've been shooting my bow a whole lot through paper, trying to get the sucker paper tuned.
Right.
I had to move some stuff, and I'm starting to work on my bow myself. So I'm I'm tuning it to the way I shoot, and I think it's a very. If you want to up your game a little bit and you want to learn your equipment, it's better to work on your own equipment so you learn the ins and outs. But if something happens in the field, you know exactly what's wrong with it, how to fix it.
Exactly.
So I've been shooting my bow through paper, and I cannot get a right hand tear out, a right knock right tear. Sorry. So I moved my rest and all that good stuff. Well, it's got to be my cam lean. So I called the pro shop around here. And he wanted $50 just to put it in the vise, and he said he couldn't get to it. He said, you can bring it and drop it off, and I'll come pick it up next week.
Right.
And I was like, not going to happen. So I just went ahead and ordered the press.
Yes, sir.
So
Money bags.
I ordered me a bow press. I've already got everything else. I got the arrow saw, the fletching jig. I've got the squares and all that good stuff.
Now, where we're recording...
Just didn't have the press.
Where we're recording the podcast right now, this place right here is a fine-tuning bow machine little room.
A mess.
No, I mean,
it's a mess.
No one's gonna see this, but back behind to my left, Nelson's got this little table here, and he's got pretty much that is your arrow station.
Yeah, I've got arrow saw, I've got a scale to weigh my arrows, my broadheads. I've got my fletching jigs, all my fletchings, my strings, everything you need to work on a bow.
The glue.
Besides the bow press.
Right.
Yeah. So I finally broke down and got the bow press. So now I'll be able to work on my bows, but not just my bows, your bow. My other friend's bow. Mm-hmm. Whoever wants to.
We'll just have to start paying you, I guess.
No, I ain't worried about it.
No, I'm just kidding.
That's just.
But what I'm excited about this season is I'm going to transition from the arrows that I'm shooting, and I'm actually going. You've encouraged me to step it up with my arrow game. I'm actually going to shoot a heavier everything.
Yeah, even if you just increase the broadhead weight to a more cut on contact, a higher quality broadhead. Mm-hmm. You don't have to change out the whole arrow or nothing, but you just want to. If you just up that weight, put a little more weight up front, you'll have better success.
Exactly.
And that's all you're doing. You're setting yourself up for success in a bad situation.
Exactly. But being a beginner hunter, it's not like that you are groomed and people, that are experts per se, like, hey, you don't need to shoot a 200 grain broadhead or you don't need to shoot a 125. You need to stick with the 100 grain and stick with the 55 by 75 arrow.
Yeah.
And then you get all this knowledge at beginning, and then that's when you start gradually getting more knowledgeable with everything.
Yeah, and now we're not saying those won't kill animals because you've done it many times. Right. I've shot the first couple deer I shot was just a Walmart arrow probably. Yeah. Just cheap arrow, 100 grain broadhead, and I wasn't getting the penetration I was wanting. I think I had one pass through, and the others were the arrows stuck in them. But thank goodness I dropped the deer. I could find them, but. Anyways, it happens.
Even from the transitional period from 50 pounds to 60 pounds.
Yeah.
That increased, like the deer, talking about how far it ran after a good ethical shot. It went from about 80 yards down to 60 to 50 to 40. Dude, I shot a deer 2 years ago, straight through. His quartering away a little bit. That front leg was out, like we just talked about. 40 yards, dude, and ate dirt. Yeah. Took a nap. Easy. And that's what you want when you go out.
Yeah.
It's one thing to get the chance and opportunity to take the deer, but once you start thinking, hey, it happens every year. So deer walks in, I shoot it to fill the freezer, dude. I'm like, oh, now the real work has began. You know, it's beginning now. Mm-hmm. Got to clean it. Yep. Take it to the processor. And then now how long have you been processing your own deer?
Probably about close to, I would say 10 years.
And
I think exactly almost 10 years. See, as soon as I started dating Elise, my fiance, my future wife.
My future
Her
wife.
dad actually, he always processed his own deer, and he kind of showed me some better techniques. Like me and my dad, I grew up hunting. My dad grew up hunting.
Yeah.
But we always either hacked some meat off, threw it in the freezer, or took it to the processor and got it processed. But after meeting her and her dad, like he's processing his own deer, he showed me how he did it, and I got the equipment. And you get a better product. You see what you're grinding up or what you're cutting in and out. And
you know it's
a lot of
100%
times,
yours.
you know it's yours, exactly. Sometimes you might take it to a processor and they get so many deer, they're just grabbing and going, grinding them all up and then dividing them out. You never know. Not saying that's the case in most processors, but it's just a little peace of mind.
Now keep in mind, and I'm not referencing the processor that I use. My great uncle actually owns a processing plant here in town, and that's who I use. I'll always use him.
Well, he's your family, and
Right.
that's the perfect way to do it.
I just field dress that deer going out, but see what I just like the traditional way of doing it yourself, the DIY. There's just something about it.
And I think it tastes better because you handle the deer yourself, and you know exactly, like you put it on ice. Maybe you bled it out in a cooler for a couple days on ice, and then change the ice every day.
That's something that I learned from you last year too.
Yeah, I do that. I keep my deer in a cooler for a week on ice, and I just change the ice out, and I leave the plug out so the water's just completely running, and I just replace the ice every day. And if it's cold outside, your ice isn't melting, obviously, but around here, and we don't have a walk-in cooler or nothing like that, and it'd be great to have one day.
Hey, I can't.
It would be great.
Tell your family. Pitch in. Let's go.
But just
right next to the new campsite.
Yeah, but just taking the meat from the field to table,
right.
and you take the steps of keeping the hair off of it, getting the blood out of the meat, you get a better quality tasting product.
You got to feel better about it too.
Oh, you do taste better.
It's a man thing of doing it yourself,
Yep.
getting the job done, seeing the finished product, and eating it with
filling your freezer for your family.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's what it's all about.
It is. It's all about. Yeah, we love out there shooting all the deer, but end goal is putting some meat in the freezer for the family. And around here, like that's what we eat.
Deer. Venison.
Now every now and then we'll buy some chicken and some beef to change it up, but
hey, there's nothing like a vacuum sealed mallard breast.
Okay, ducks.
Got the skin on it.
Oh boy, I will take a duck breast over deer meat any day. Personally, I love duck.
Oh, I was talking to a client the other day.
Yeah,
they own. It's called Feet First Farms.
Okay,
it's in Arkansas.
Yeah,
it's where we've been doing some work. This guy owns a private lake.
Mm-hmm.
Got a 20-foot bass boat on it.
Dang.
Ranger, 2 power poles, private lake, big 100-foot carport for all his tractors and equipment. He's got the machine that you ride as a four-wheeler, but it goes in the water.
Oh, the Argos?
Dude, he's got it all.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
A cabin, like I said, the 2-story house. And all he's done, and all it is, it's a getaway for him.
Yeah.
He's been in the construction business since 1956.
Dang.
He's got a huge family. Mm-hmm. He's got 4 kids, and they all have families.
Yep.
And that is their getaway.
That's awesome. That's kind of like our place out there, our couple 100 acres out there east of town. It's like our getaway for our whole family. We love getting out there and enjoying family time. Mm-hmm. It's my dad's side of the family, and it just we all get out there and fill feeders, put food plots in, just have a cold drink, grill out, sit by the fire, just enjoy family time. It's a great getaway.
There's something about owning your own piece of property, though.
You're right.
Being able to manage it, manage a herd how you want to do it.
Yep.
And that's a future goal of mine.
Yep. Well,
get me a piece of property.
If that's one of your goals, we'll write it down and look at it every day. Focus on that goal.
Someone said that not too long ago. They said write it down and stick it on your mirror.
Oh. I think I told you that last night. I didn't tell you. I told you write your goals down.
You said write them down.
Yep.
But somebody else said write them down and stick it on your mirror. So when you go to brush your teeth every morning or every night, whatever it is, you see that goal.
I've got a goal on a sticky note that I wrote down. I stuck on my computer screen at work, and I look at it every day.
There it is.
Yep.
My dad's a businessman. Y'all might know. Some of you might know. But big businessman. He's always been just a good little money seeker per se. But no, he's got a what are those the tack boards that you stick things to, the cork boards?
Cork board.
And that is his goal board, basically.
Really?
So he's got a big mansion on there with a nice pool. He's got a luxury car. But that's something that when he goes into his office,
that's one of his goals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, write some goals down. This is an outdoor podcast, but I know y'all got goals of shooting big deer, manage your herd, or whatever it is. Write them down and look at them every day. Maybe put them in your notes on your phone or
try to fulfill them.
Your mirror, like you said, right in front of your bathroom window.
Your TV. Put a sticky note right in the middle of your TV. You'll never miss that one, huh? No.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get out there, write some goals down, and try to accomplish them this season. Hey, list some of your goals. Tell us in the comments some of your goals for this season. I want to kill a 10-point buck. I want to kill something over 100 inches, whatever it may be. If it's to limit out every time we go hunting, that's always one of my goals. Every duck season, man. Sometimes it just doesn't happen.
That's hunting for you.
That's
I don't care who
goose
you are.
egging. Green beaning, man. Let me tell you.
I don't care who you are. I was hunting right there. You might not see anything, but it's a great time. I'm at the point in my life. Yeah, I'm still pretty young, like 25 years old.
20.
Going on 20.
I'm at the
I'm
point
like
of my life
26 this year, but I'm at the point, like, I just like going out there and being in the woods, like, having good buddies around, just sitting in the tree by yourself, just me time. It's great.
Stop.
I'm telling you.
Man, turkey camp. You're bringing back the feels of the old turkey camp.
All right, well, we're kind of out of time on this podcast. We kind of went overboard. So thank y'all so much for listening. If you made it this far, please give us a review on iTunes and subscribe wherever you listen to these podcasts at.
And be sure to let your friends know that our podcast is up and running. We're posting every week. And just inform them so we can grow as y'all grow.
Yep. Thank y'all so much, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Peace.